Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tida Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Pariprajaka Ashtottara Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Sridhar Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamana Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:24-26. Pacyantāṁ vividhāḥ pākāḥ sūpāntāḥ pāyasādayaḥ saṁyāvāpūpa-śaṣkulyaḥ sarva-dohaś gṛhyatām pacyantāṁ vividhāḥ pākāḥ sūpāntāḥ pāyasādayaḥ saṁyāvāpūpa-śaṣkulyaḥ sarva-dohaś gṛhyatām pacyantāṁ vividhāḥ pākāḥ sūpāntāḥ pāyasādayaḥ saṁyāvāpūpa-śaṣkulyaḥ sarva-dohaś gṛhyatām. Pacyantāṁ vividhāḥ pākāḥ sarva-dohaś gṛhyatām. Sūpāntāḥ pāyasādayaḥ sarva-dohaś gṛhyatām. Pacyantāṁ vividhāḥ pākāḥ sūpāntāḥ pāyasādayaḥ sarva-dohaś gṛhyatām. Ladies, pacyantāṁ vividhāḥ pākāḥ sarva-dohaś gṛhyatām. Pacyantāṁ vividhāḥ pākāḥ sūpāntāḥ pāyasādayaḥ saṁyāvāpūpa-śaṣkulyaḥ sarva-dohaś gṛhyatām. Pacyantāṁ vividhāḥ pākāḥ sūpāntāḥ pāyasādayaḥ saṁyāvāpūpa-śaṣkulyaḥ sarva-dohaś gṛhyatām. Pacyantāṁ let the people cook. Vividhāḥ, many varieties. Pākāḥ, of cooked foods. Sūpa-antāḥ, ending with liquid vegetable preparations. Pāyasa-ādayaḥ, beginning with sweet rice. Saṁyāvā-āpūpa, fried and baked cakes. Śaṣkulyaḥ, large round cakes made from rice flour. Sarva, all. Dohaḥ, what is obtained by milking the cows. Cha, and. Gṛhyatām, let it be taken. Let many different kinds of food be cooked, from sweet rice to vegetable soups. Many kinds of fancy cakes, both baked and fried, should be prepared. And all the available milk products should be taken for this sacrifice. Purport. The word soup indicates bean broth and also liquid vegetables. Thus, to celebrate the Govardhan Puja, Lord Krishna called for hot preparations such as soup, cold preparations like sweet rice, and all types of milk products. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadhati Shapadantikam Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Jatapadakamanang Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lolita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kamshana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hori Priye Vanchako Patarubhyascha Kripa Sindho Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mobile check, please. Please check that your mobile is in silent mode. Pacyantāṁ vividhāḥ pākāḥ sūpāntāḥ pāyasādayaḥ saṁyāvāpūpa-śaṣkulyaḥ sarva-dohaś gṛhyatām. So Lord Krishna wants the Govardhan Puja done right. He wants it done big time, as they say. And so he's giving explicit directions how the arrangements should be made. And especially there should be all kinds of opulent food, pacyantāṁ, vividhāḥ, pākāḥ, all kinds of cooked food. That means there'll be food with ghee and serious eating. The milk products are mentioned twice, pāyasa-ādayaḥ, starting with sweet rice, and sarva-dohaḥ, everything that comes from all the milk products from the cow. So in this Govardhan Puja, the milk products will be especially important because the cows are especially important. In our Krishna consciousness movement, our custom is that on Sundays we arrange for a feast to encourage people to come and participate in our Krishna consciousness movement. When I was first coming, that means 1968, the feast would consist of not less than 10 or 15 items. There'd be a couple of kinds of rice, there'd be puris, there'd be a couple of kinds of pakoras, there'd be 2 or 3 chutneys, there'd be gulab jamuns, there'd be samosas, there'd be sweet rice, etc. One time during the days of, one time when book distribution was going on very strongly, the leaders of one of our temples, I believe it was Chicago, had the idea that to maximize book distribution, they could send everybody out on Sunday and just leave. You can't hear? Okay. Let's get this right. Thank you for letting me know. Is this better? Okay. Very directional microphone. Excuse me? It's good. Okay. So the temple authorities had the idea that to maximize book distribution, they could send everybody out distributing books on Sunday, and they could leave one person back to cook, maybe some puris and sabji or puri and halwa, 2 items, 3 items, bas. And that way everyone could go out and distribute books. And when Prabhupada heard about it, completely disapproved. He said, no, the feast should be opulent. There should be so many preparations. What is that? Sevan mukhehi jivado svayameva spurachadaha. Our engagement in Krishna consciousness begins with the tongue. Okay. Uyantam agnaya samyag brahmanar brahmavaripi annam pahugunam tebhyo deyamvo dhenudakshinaha. Huyantam should be invoked. Agnayaha, the sacrificial fires. Samyak, in the proper manner. Brahmanaihi, by the brahmanas. Brahmavaripihi, who are learned in the Vedas. Annam, food. Bahugurnam, well prepared. Tebhyaha, to them. Deyam, should be given. Vaha, by you. Dhenudakshinaha, cows and other gifts as remuneration. The brahmanas who are learned in the Vedic mantras must properly invoke the sacrificial fires. Then you should feed the priests with nicely prepared food and reward them with cows and other gifts. Purport. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, Lord Sri Krishna instructed his father and other residents of Vrindavan in the technical details of this Vedic sacrifice to assure the quality of the sacrifice, and also to inspire Nanda and the others with faith in the concept of such a sacrifice. Thus, the Lord mentioned that there must be orthodox brahmanas, regular sacrificial fires, and proper distribution of charity. And things were to be done in the order given by the Lord. From one point of view, we don't need all this paraphernalia, all this fancy stuff. They could just, out of spontaneous love, offer everything to Govardhan. But Lord Krishna wanted to inspire faith in the process and honor the system of Vedic sacrifices. And so he gave instructions in this way. This was something of an unorthodox program. The orthodox program in Vrindavan is that we worship Indra. He's the god of clouds and rains. He's the one who supplies the necessities for our agriculture. So we worship Indra with a big, proper sacrifice every year. But that's the orthodox way to do it. And Krishna is saying, no, just worship Govardhan Hill. What do we care about Indra? What's he to us? He just pours water everywhere. That's his job. But our relationship is with Govardhan and with the cows. So let's do this. So people might be skeptical that, I don't know what kind of, we do a proper sacrifice and now you're just asking us to worship the hill. So to inspire faith, Krishna is giving. No, we'll do sacrifices, we'll have the brahmanas chanting the Vedic mantras, we'll do everything in the proper fashion. In the Bhagavad-Gita, Vidhihinam ashrishtanam mantrihinam adakshinam shraddhavirahitam yagyam tamasa parichakshate. One should perform sacrifices. Yagyadana tapa karma, pavanani manishina. The yagya and tapasya and charity, yagya dana tapa chaiva pavanani manishina. These are purifying even for advanced souls. So the sacrifice should be performed, but there are three different kinds of sacrifices. Sacrifices in goodness, sacrifices in passion, and sacrifices in ignorance. Sacrifice in goodness is done without expectation of reward, as a matter of duty. Let's see. Now, when we want to find it, it suddenly disappears. Surprising. Anyway, we know it's in the book, but we're not finding it right now. The sacrifice in goodness is done without expectation of reward, as a matter of duty. Sacrifice in passion is done for getting something. We want to get results. We want to get honor, prestige, recognition. We want to get results. If I worship, we went to one place on Padayatra, our host had a big silver Ganesh that he was worshiping every day. And it wasn't just as a matter of duty, but it was for prosperity. So we're interested in prosperity, we're interested in results, and so we perform a yajna so that we can enjoy. This is passion. And sacrifice in ignorance, vividhāḥ, without following the rules and regulations. We just do it any which way. There's sacrifice, Vedic sacrifices have to be done exactly according to protocol. Otherwise, there's no result. They're like rocket launches, you know. Everything has to be all systems go. Otherwise, it's canceled. If the weather's a little off, if some light isn't going on, then canceled. So the Vedic sacrifices, there were 4 or 5 priests, one to do this, one to do this, one to do this, one to do this, and one, the referee priest, he, if something's off, he compensates. He fires the retro rockets to keep things on track. So carefully. Therefore, Vedic sacrifices are over in the present age, because where will we get the Brahmins? Where will we? Who can follow all the rules and regulations? Who's even interested? So, in Kali Yuga, Kalo Tad Hari Kirtanat, the Sankirtan is to be performed. Sankirtan Yajna. And even in the Sankirtan Yajna, there are some rules. Although Smarane Nikala, time and place are not crucial, as they would be in the Vedic sacrifices, still there's a way to do it and a way not to do it. I'm not going to talk about that more. Those who are interested can visit my website, jswami.info, where there's some discussion of this. So vividhāḥ, sacrifice where we don't follow any rules. We just do everything whimsically. And ashishtanam, with no distribution of prasadam. That's in the mode of ignorance. Srila Prabhupada was so careful. When I was first coming, we saw that after the kirtan there had to be prasadam. There had to be prasadam. It could be some little cut up apples, but there had to be some prasadam. One time we did a program at a church in Boston, and there was no prasadam. So I remember Prabhupada had some of the ladies cutting up fruits so that there could be prasadam for the people. Otherwise, ashishtanam, without prasadam. No, there must be prasadam. That was Prabhupada's prasadam distribution, that people should come to our temple, and at the temple there should be kirtan, there should be darshan, there should be Vedic knowledge, Bhagavad-Gita, books, devotees, and prasadam. That was his point. He wasn't interested in distributing prasadam to the poor people, to the emergency places, but he wanted that at all of our temples, prasadam distribution should be profuse. So ashishtanam, if there's and where we go with kirtan, then prasadam. So vividhāḥ, ashishtanam, and mantrahīna. If the mantras are not chanted, or there's not properly chanted, mantrahīna, without mantras there's no sacrifice. There are no silent Vedic sacrifices. The mantras there must be there, and they're to be chanted by the learned Vedic Brahmins, or for the Sankirtan Yajna, the mantras are to be chanted by pure devotees. One time Srila Prabhupada wrote a letter to Hamsadutta, and he was describing the kirtan party. There should be this many dancers, there should be this many kartals, there should be this many mridangas, there should be this, there should be this. And the most important thing is that every member of the kirtan party should be a pure devotee. So, mantrahinam, without mantras, no yajna. And adakshina. If the sacrifice is performed, but there's no reward, no remuneration, no gift given to the priests, that's also an ignorance. When yajnas, we hear Maharaj Yudhisthira performed yajnas and he gave so much gold, he gave cows, that's mentioned specifically here. Dhenu dakshina, gifts of cows, the most valuable gift. So without giving, then without giving dakshina, then it's in the mode of ignorance. And shraddha virahitam, if there's no faith, then again it's in ignorance. The yajnas should be performed not as a matter of, well, we don't believe in any of this stuff, but we do it because, well, we're supposed to do it. It should be done with faith. Whether it's Vedic yajnas or Sankirtan yajna, it should be done with faith in the process. By chanting Hare Krishna, these statements about the glories of the holy name of Krishna are true. It's not that they're just sort of inserted into the books to pump us up so that we'll chant. The glories of Krishna are unlimited, and the glories of the holy name are unlimited. Abhinnatvan nama namino. There's no difference between Krishna and Krishna's holy name. So the pure devotees have faith that simply by chanting Hare Krishna, everything will be included, everything will be accomplished. By chanting Hare Krishna purely once, one can get free from the results of more sinful activities than one is able to commit. One time there was a meeting in the house of Raghunath Das Goswami's father and uncle, and some Brahmins were glorifying the holy name, and someone said that the holy name is so great that it's chanting the holy name is equal to 10,000 Ashwamedha yajnas. And Haridas Thakur was there. He said, this is an aparad. To compare the chanting of the holy name of the Lord to ordinary fruitive activities like Ashwamedha yajnas is an offense to the holy name. The real benefit of chanting Hare Krishna is that one associates with Krishna and gets the opportunity to revive one's eternal loving relationship with Krishna. So this is the perfection of yajnas. All, someplace it said, quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that all Vedic mantras, sacrifices, and understandings are included in these words: Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kirtaniya Sadahari. Any questions?
Hare Krishna. Oops. Thank you, Maharaj, for the prasadam class. You were mentioning that when you came early in the movement in 1968, you looked, the Sunday feast was quite opulent with so many preparations. Am I given to understand, is it similar during the week for the devotees in the temple, or it's a little different?
If we eat every day like that, we'll die.
So tell us more about the week then.
Well, devotees should have nice prasadam. It shouldn't be negligently provided. Nice prasadam. Prabhupada said, rice, dal, sabji, chapati, you'll keep good health. Rice, dal, we don't need every day sweet rice and gulab jamans and so many things unless we want to agitate our senses, which we probably don't. So the simple prasadam, but tasty, healthy. What is that? Let's try one more time. Ayu sattva, I didn't find it, but holding the book helps. Ayu sattva balarogya, sukha priti vivardhanaha, rasya snigdha stira hridya, ahara sattvika priyaha. Food that gives life, ayu, sattva, gives strength, bala, and arogya, not the kind of food that causes disease. Healthy food, then sukha priti vivardhana, food that makes you happy. The Prabhupada in his last days here in Vrindavan, he was asking, are the devotees getting nice prasadam? And Tamal Krishna Maharaj assured him that yes, Prabhupada, Ayodhyapati Prabhu is cooking, and Bibi Govinda Maharaj is cooking, and the prasadam is very nice. So Prabhupada was happy. What is that? Chaturvidha Shri Bhagavad Prasada Svadan Triptam Haribhakta Sangha. So the spiritual master wants to see that the devotees are getting nice prasadam. Rasya, snigdha, stira, hridya, hearty meals, but simple. It doesn't need to be a wedding feast every day.
Maharaj, we see in my Hawaii ISKCON temple that recently there's a large contingency of vegan, gluten-free people who come to the Sunday feast. And so when we cook these very opulent items, everything cooked in ghee, samosas, sometimes the entire feast, not a single item accommodates to such people. And I was wondering, and literally sometimes 1 in 5 people, 20% of the people show up, they want to know what are the vegan, gluten-free options. Do we accommodate to that? Do we have a separate section in the Sunday?
You can accommodate 1 in 5, 20%. Sometimes we see that because there's 1 in 5 or 1 in 30 or something, so the whole feast has to be gluten-free, the whole feast has to be vegan, everything has to be to accommodate, 10% or less. 10% or fewer people. Everything has to be no milk, no this, no that. Why? But those who are of that persuasion, let there be nice prasadam for them also.
I guess I was thinking in terms of, I know Jamuna Mataji and a few others were on various like keto diets and different things, and when Prabhupada brought them prasadam, he kind of force them, no, take this, it'll be good for you, and they converted, so to speak. I was thinking, I don't know if that's our mission, is to convert people to non-veganism.
Our mission is to convert people to Krishna Prasadam. Let them, take your, in the old days it used to be, what was it? Macrobiotic, just no taste, no nothing. But, all right, offer it to Krishna and take. So that's our primary mission. It may be this free or that free, but it should be offered to Krishna. What is that? Yagyashishtasina santam muchinte sarva-kilbishai. By eating food offered to Krishna, one is freed from all sinful reactions. Punjate te tukam papa ye pacyantāṁ karana. And eating food not offered to Krishna, you're just eating vegan food. You're just eating sinful reactions in the form of nice, pure vegan food. So let's get off it. It's not that you're going to be freed from material existence because you don't drink milk. That's not going to do it. It's still, maybe we consider that materially pure, but materially pure means contaminated. Materially pure means contaminated. And especially any food not offered to Krishna. Contaminated. Punjate te tukam papa. So people should understand that. Not that you're holy because you don't drink milk. Whatever you eat, yad karoshi yad ashnasi. Whatever you eat, offer to Krishna. Then we're happy. And then we'll talk about what you eat after that.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please forgive me, my memory is kind of wandering all over.
Mine too.
In the Treta Yuga, the Yuga Dharma was the yajna, the yagya. And the sages of those times, did they do the yagya as a offering to the Supreme, or
yes.
was that for
Om
material?
Tat Saditi Nirdesho, what is that at the end of 14? Not 14, but where is that? 16, 15, 17? Om Tat Saditi Nirdesho Brahmana vividhāḥ Pura 1723. Om Tat Sat iti nirdesho brahmanas trividha smrita brahmanas tena vedascha yagyascha vividhāḥ pura. In previous times, they performed all these sacrifices, yagya dana tapa kriya, sacrifices, charity, austerity, pious activities, for the sake of the Supreme. Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat indicates the Supreme. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, like Lord Shri Krishna is telling everyone to worship Govardhan Hill. So my question to you is, as many devotees have Giriraj Baba, so it's better for us to worship Govardhan Hill as Giriraj Baba or as Brajendra Nandan? Lord Krishna will be more pleased if we worship.
Both things are there. Both things are there. First of all, not everyone is meant to. It's not that we're meant all to get Govardhan Shilas and start becoming the Govardhan cult of although I'm doing it, but it's not that now we all go out and maybe the Loy Bazaar people will have Govardhans for all the ISKCON devotees. First thing is the deities in our temples and so on. But one may worship Govardhan. And we see it both ways. That sometimes, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Das Goswami, that this is Krishna himself. And then there's also evidence the other way, that Govardhan is worshipped as Haridasa Varya, best of the devotees.
So when we go to Giriraj Baba, we should see him as Haridas Varya or as Brajendra Nandan?
That's up to you.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes, Janardhan Marshan. How can one acquire the taste for chanting the Hare Krishna mantra? Why do we have no taste? Durdaiva drishami hajani nanaragam. Because of misfortune. Because of misfortune, we have no taste. Since time, it's not surprising, since time immemorial, we've had a taste for being the controller, being the enjoyer. And now we're trying to serve the controller, glorify the controller, glorify the enjoyer. So this residual dirt of material consciousness is there. And so Chaito Darpana Marjanam, Prabhupada said, a gradual cleansing process. So most important thing is we should stick to that process. Regularly we should chant Hare Krishna, 16 rounds on our beads and chanting in kirtan, and avoiding 10 kinds of offenses. In one translation, Durdaiva, unfortunately I commit 10 kinds of offenses while chanting the holy name, and therefore I have no taste. So we should try to avoid offenses, and we should associate with devotees who have a taste for chanting the holy name.
Maharaj,
Yes.
Hare Krishna here.
Yes.
Again, this is regarding Sunday feast. Now it is seen, I have seen in the Sunday feast, they have reduced the standard. What you told in your time, there is to be 14 items. So nowadays, it is seen that most of the people who come for Sunday feast, except the congregation, they just come for eating. So they have reduced the standard. They just serve khichdi and papad like that.
Sounds good. But two things. One is, if people just come for the food, we're happy. So many people, Satsvarup Maharaj, in an early radio interview, was asked, he said, and we have a Sunday feast at our temple every Sunday, and we invite everyone to come. And the announcer said, what would you do if everyone came? So Satsvarup Maharaj later put that question to Srila Prabhupada and said, the problem is that they don't come. If they came, we'd feed everyone, the whole city of Boston. The problem is that they don't come. So if they come, all right, they come for the food. Harigo. But when they come for the food, they'll meet the devotees, they'll get a book, they'll hear the chanting of Hare Krishna, they'll make friends, and the prasadam will be so nice, they'll think, I want to do this again, I can't get this kind of food anywhere else. So let them come for the food. Annamoya. There are different levels of realization. Lowest level is annamoya. Everyone's interested in food. So all right, come for the food. And stay for the kirtan. These things are there. I won't say anything about the Indian context because that's a different context, but in the West, or outside India, Videsh, this is the key to everything, is profuse distribution of prasadam.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, over here near the temple.
Yes.
Yes. We hear that the chanting of the holy names is perfect and complete, abhina abhina tvam nam namino. Yet you described how Srila Prabhupada would insist that after every program there should be prasadam distribution. So if the chanting of the holy name is complete, why do you think Srila Prabhupada insisted that prasadam distribution would also take place?
It's the cherry on top. The kirtan is complete, and part of our kirtan process is distribution of prasadam. It's not that the holy name loses potency or something if there's no prasadam, but there's complete, more complete, most complete. So in our complete process, even the chanting, Prabhupada, there was a time when the editors of Back to Godhead were publishing sort of endorsements up front in the magazine for the chanting of Hare Krishna. I feel so much calmer since I've begun chanting. People say I look happier since I've taken up chanting. I find it easier to sleep at night now that I'm chanting. You know, all these nice, relatable snippets from ordinary folks who got benefit from chanting. And some devotees complained to Srila Prabhupada about that, and Srila Prabhupada spoke with Rameshwar Prabhu, who at the time was in charge, and Rameshwar was explaining that the editors want to attract people to chant Hare Krishna. And in the beginning, Srila Prabhupada, you didn't really make any rules, you just asked people to chant, and so that's their idea, that we'll just somehow or other get people to chant. And Prabhupada said yes. He said, but they should come to the process. He said they should come in the process, which means to the process. Not that they only chant, but chanting is part of a process. And Prabhupada said it several times. You know, Rameshwar came at it from a different angle of vision or repeated the same thing. And Prabhupada kept coming back to this point, that they should chant in the process. That means associate with devotees, chant Hare Krishna, bhajana kriya, accept a bona fide guru, follow the regulative principles. They should come in the process. He said, otherwise it will become namaparad. It will remain offensive chanting. It won't have the desired effect. So the chant, yes, we want everyone to chant, but then people should make progress. They should start following some regulative principles. They should associate with the devotees. They should read our books. They should transform their lives. Not that they only chant. Chant, of course, if they chant, they'll be definitely, it will be good for them. But Prabhupada said they should come to the process. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, wherever you are.
Yes. Maharaj, prasadam, of course, is a very big topic. But Prabhupada told me there were two kinds of prasadam. He said opulent and sumptuous. He said opulent prasadam was meant for the deities, and it meant ghee and sugar. And sumptuous, he says, means very, very tasty. And he said that the prasadam in the temple should be so tasty that the devotees don't even consider going outside of the temple to eat. He said it should be so nice.
In the early days in the movement, it's sort of well known that the devotees, you know, it's a sort of a struggle in those early days. So some devotees would think about leaving. But then they would think, well, let me stay till Sunday.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Yes. Maharaj, you described about the sacrifice in mood of goodness. It is mentioned in Bhagavad-Gita, aphala kanki vir jagya vidhi drishta yajyate, yashtabhyam meviti mana samadhayasa satvika.
Thank you, that's the verse.
So it looks like that afalakanksha means without any desire. So it is, I think, in a transcendental states, or how?
That's the mode of goodness. That's not even transcendental. Apala kangshibi yagyo vidhi dishto yajite. This is my duty, and I do it. Whether I get a result, I don't get a result, this is what I'm supposed to do. They may praise me, they may badmouth me. This is my duty, I'm going to do it. And I don't have to consider whether I profit or I lose, it's my duty. That King Shibi, he was ready to give his life for the pigeon. Why? I gave my word, and he's taken shelter of me. So, yeah, but he's getting heavier and heavier, you're going to lose your life. Doesn't matter. I gave my word, and I'm the king. So, apala kangshibi, without considering profit or loss. Vidhi dishto yajite. Yastabhyam, this is what I'm supposed to do. Then higher, transcendentalists, I have to do this for Krishna. This is still material goodness. It's my duty. I don't consider profit or loss. Spiritual is, I have to please Krishna.
What is that symptoms of the transcendental stage?
What is the symptom of transcendental stage?
Yeah.
That he's always chanting Hare Krishna. He's always, Prabhupada said, addicted to Krishna. He's a Krishna addict.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you. Yes.
Hare Krishna. It's like a comment about the chanting the holy name. Hare Krishna mantra is the yagya for this age. Then Radha Krishna dance in our tank.
Radha Krishna what?
Dance in the tank.
Dancing on the tank.
Dance in the tank. And then after chanting and dancing, the yagya, what you have to do, the remuneration, and that the remuneration should be prasada in the tank for Radha Krishna.
Yes. That's mentioned here. Krishna said, give them a reward and feed them.
Yes.
Feed the Brahmins. And actually this is the Vedic direction about feeding. Prasadams or food should be distributed to the Brahmins and Vaishnavas primarily. Last question.
Same question of
Take second.
That's all.
So
You understand.
I don't understand anything till the bell stops ringing.
Prabhupada ji,
Ek second, bye.
only 1 second.
2 seconds.
I can make each and
Ek
everything,
second.
but it's okay.
Okay. All right, we're at 9 o'clock. So we stop here, huh? And there's prasadam. Yeah. Sumptuous, I hope. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. All glorious to Srila Prabhupada.